Good morning. It is yet another great day, of great insights, a great day of fresh perspectives, a great day to look at what is happening in our country, and of course a beautiful rainy day. It's raining out there, but I am hoping that you are fine. This is Impact Dialogues with me, Ruth Wanjiru, and this Wednesday morning, I have a lot lined up for you, okay? I want to make sure that we have a great time, checking what is happening in our country. I want us to have a great time looking at our newspapers this morning, and I want us to have a great time, diving deep into what our country is going through politically, socially, internationally, because by the way, the Dutch King just visited us yesterday. It was such a nice visit, by the way. It is good once in a while kuona wageni. That's a nice gesture. But apart from that, we also have stories on show. We are going to be reviewing the Standard. We are also going to be reviewing the Star and also the Daily Nation. In the next session, I'm going to be showing you what the dailies look like today. Okay, but it is my hope and prayer that you are doing this, you're doing well this morning. Good morning from wherever you're watching us from. I think I want to read a few comments, Leo. Today, I just want to know how you guys are doing. Just checking and tell me where you're watching me from, where you're joining Impact Dialogues from, and what you're expecting in today's show. Now, my number is just on your screen, 0711 176 006. Use that number to text me and tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me if our signals are okay. Tell me if it's raining, because right now Nairobi is raining like no one's business. And I did tell you this, I think on Monday. On Monday niliwaambia mujitayarishe hii week it's going to be a little bit rainy, right? London mmeiona. Where I come from kulianza kunyesha jana usiku, and we extended all the way to the morning, and then right now it is raining heavily right now where we are, and we are in the CBD. So you can imagine kama CBD kunanyesha, every other place is raining, right? But anyway, hoping hamjanyeshewa. Those who are short, I think you're going to be giving tales of how tall you've grown very soon because of this rain. But stay safe and stay warm, keep warm. You should be having your cup of coffee this morning as we delve in our newspapers. It is good to keep warm, Now coffee stimulates your mind. It's good to keep you, running. But welcome to the show. If you're a new fan, this is Impact Dialogues, and my name is Ruth Wanjiru. Now, what we do here is just have impactful dialogues. So we first of all start with our newspaper review. I have a panel with me today. I have, a youth leader. Her name is Feli. She's going to be joining us in just a short while. I also have Ngugi Ndegwa. He has been here before. You know about him. He will also join us, in our newspaper review today, okay? But before we get into all that, I want us to get into our updates. Let me start with our what happened today in history. So today is March 19th, right? Yeah, today is March 19th. And so I want us to know what special happened today in March 19th. Actually, as I was, surfing through, looking for what happened, I found two. Number one, I found this interesting one. And this one was in 1987. Now, let me look for that bit of it, because there's a lot of information on that. But in a nutshell, did you know that the first ever drug, to be approved of treating HIV and AIDS was invented, or rather, was approved. That was the word I was looking for. Was approved on March 19th, 1987. March 19th, 1987, and the drug looks like that. The one you can see inside that picture. I'm going to show you more pictures of that drug, but in just a nutshell, so on this day in 1987, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, that is the FDA, approved AZT, zidovudine, okay? The first drug to treat HIV and AIDS, and this was a historic breakthrough, by the way, offering hope at a time when a HIV diagnosis was considered a death sentence. Now, before the drug was, approved, and actually, fun fact, as I was surfing through, I came across I saw that, before the drug was approved, actually it used to treat cancer, okay? And so then if you are found you have HIV and AIDS, that was like a death sentence. Ilikuwa like wewe sasa unangoja tu kwenda, there is nothing else that can be done until that drug was approved in 1987. Now originally it was developed as a cancer treatment, and then it was found to block the replication of the HIV virus, showing the disease's progression. Now the FDA approved it just 20 months after clinical trials began. And also, now it had challenges. You know that everything that has advantages has disadvantages. So what happened at the time, it was so costly, so it was priced at $10,000 per year, and it was so unaffordable for many. There was also severe side effects. Patients experienced things like anemia, nausea, and then there was muscle weakness. Then the resistance issue came up. Okay, and funny thing about our bodies, when your body is used to using a certain drug for very long, inazoea. So that happened, and but anyway, despite the hurdles that were there, the drug made it possible for the modern treatments we have of HIV and AIDS right now. So that is number one that happened in history. In March 1987, March 19th, 1987, the first HIV and AIDS drug was approved. Now, that's not only what happened today in history. So I came across another. So in another case, so on March 19th, 1915, Pluto was photographed for the very first time. That is planet Pluto. The planet Pluto was photographed for the very first time. Now, the most interesting part about this is that those who photographed it did not know. They actually photographed it by mistake. But, the astronomers at the Lowell Observatory in Arizona, unknowingly captured the planet Pluto for the first time, where they were searching for a mysterious planet and all that. And then it was until 1930. Remember that this is 1915, okay, when they photographed it for the first time. Then in 1930, it was rediscovered again. And while rediscovering it, they noticed that kumbe ilikuwa imepatikana kitambo. So that again happened. And I also found a few details, of why Pluto was so hard to find. They say that it's extremely far away. It was small and dim. And actually, it has a nickname. Nilijuyo jana. It has a nickname, the dwarf planet. The dwarf planet. But that is what happened in history today. Yeah, you can see that. Actually, unaiona tu kanaka kabol kadogo, but that's a planet, my people. That's a planet. That's a planet, my guys. And that is what happened in history on March 19th. I've told you about the drug, and I've told you about the Pluto. You tell me which is your favorite one. Or rather, if kuna yenye unajua yenye sijui, you just tell me which was your favorite one. And, And my number is there, 0711176006. Niambie ni gani favorite? Is it the Pluto one, ama is it the HIV and AIDS drug one? Which one do you think is interesting? Which one do you think has more impact? Okay, interact with me as we move on swiftly. I want us to look at our weather updates, but right now I'm sure weather updates mnazijua vizuri kwa sababu where I'm seated right now, I can hear the rain pouring like no one's business. The rain is pouring, nasikia tu ta 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 ta. I don't know if kwenye huko kunanyesha. You tell me via that number there as we look at our weather update. Let me check that for you. Just give me a minute. Let's see what is happening. Nairobi, saizi tunajua kunanyesha. It's raining. And I'm telling you, if in the CBD it's raining. I don't know kama kuna mahali ya kunyeshi. Nakuru, how is your weather doing leo? But let's start with Mombasa, okay? So Mombasa, the current conditions are cloudy. We are somewhere at 28 degrees Celsius. Now, a couple of thunderstorms this morning. It's not going to be as warm, but there's going to be a little bit of sun pale jioni with highs of 33 degrees Celsius and lows of 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, now in Kisumu, the current conditions right now are cloudy. We are at 20 degrees Celsius. Now, It's going to be cloudy again throughout the day, not as warm. There's going to be a thunderstorm in parts of the area this morning, followed by a heavy thunderstorm around the afternoon. So maybe Kisumu might expect some rains today. So with highs of 28 degrees Celsius and also lows of 18 degrees Celsius. In Eldoret, the champion county, the county of the champions. So the current conditions right now are a bit cloudy. We are at 16 degrees Celsius. That's a bit cold. And then through the day we are going to be having, thunderstorms and all that. In the afternoon, it's going to be cloudy and not as warm, with highs of 26 degrees Celsius and lows of 13 degrees Celsius. Now in Nakuru, watu wangu wa Nakuru, it's a bit cloudy. Right now we are at 15 degrees Celsius. Now throughout the day, it's going to be also cloudy with a thunderstorm or two this afternoon. Highs of 24 degrees Celsius and lows of 14 degrees Celsius. Garissa as well. Actually, Garissa is the only county in Rwanda kutakuwa at least najua, because the forecast here says that it's going to be, a little bit sunny and cloudy here and there, with highs of 34 degrees Celsius and 24 degrees Celsius. Unasikia wako na joto kidogo. Then Isiolo, it's a bit cloudy right now with 18 degrees Celsius, but as the day continues, there's going to be clouds and sun with a thunderstorm in part of the areas, with highs of 28 degrees Celsius highs and then lows of 18 degrees Celsius. Then we go to Kakamega County. Now Kakamega, current conditions right now are around 18 degrees Celsius. Now, throughout the day, it's going to be cloudy, not as warm, with a couple of thunderstorms this afternoon. Okay, now the highs are 26, the lows are 16 degrees Celsius. Then Lamu, current conditions right now are at 28 degrees Celsius. And a couple of thunderstorms this morning. It's not going to be as warm. It's going to be a bit cold. And there's going to be clouds and also some sun here and there. Highs of 33 degrees Celsius and lows of 25 degrees Celsius. In Lodwar, the current conditions right now are range at 28 degrees Celsius. Now, a couple of thunderstorms this morning. It's not going to be as warm. There's going to be a bit of clouds and sun as the day continues. Highs of 33 degrees Celsius and lows of 25 degrees Celsius. Marsabit as well. Expect highs of 33 degrees Celsius and lows of 25 degrees Celsius. Mandera still, there's going to be a couple of thunderstorms, this morning, and also throughout the day it's going to be warm and sunny. Highs of 33 degrees Celsius and lows of 25 degrees Celsius. Then Meru County, clouds and sun with a stray thunderstorm this afternoon, with highs of 24 degrees Celsius and lows of 16 degrees Celsius. In Moranga County, right now, we are ranging at 18 degrees Celsius. Now, there's going to be a bit of clouds and sun with a thunderstorm in the part of the area. There might be rains also in the afternoon. And in Nandi, now, Nandi County, there's going to be, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm this afternoon. It's going to be cloudy as well, with the highs of 24 degrees Celsius and lows of 13 degrees Celsius. That is Nandi County. I'm looking for Nairobi County. Just give me a minute. Let me check that for you. So in Nairobi County, currently there's showers. Currently there's showers, and it's mostly cloudy, and we are going to be having highs of 76 degrees Celsius and lows of 63 degrees Celsius. Okay, now, regardless of what is happening, that is our weather updates today. But regardless of the situation, the Met Department did give us a warning that the March May rains are with us right now. So expect rains and more rains. By the way, be safe. Always carry an umbrella mpaka kwenye mvua itaacha kunyesha, if you don't want to be rained on. But regardless, remember that God is a God of all seasons, and whether it's sunny, whether it's rainy, whether it's cloudy, whether it's windy, hata kama una freeze, He is still a God of all seasons, and still, we all get blessings. Okay, every season brings around blessings. Now, what is left for you to do is just to pray that voice bebe watu. Okay, that is what is left for you to do. Now, I want us to shift to traffic updates before we take a short break and get into our paper review. Now, for our traffic updates this morning, let me start with Waiyaki Way. Waiyaki Way, just a minute. Just a single minute. Yeah, Waiyaki Way. Waiyaki Way, I can see there's a bit of snarl up. Kidogo, it's starting from, let me see, it's starting from, where is this? Yeah, it's starting from ABC Place. It's starting from ABC Place all the way to Chiromo. So if you're using Waiyaki Way, yeah, it's starting from ABC Place all the way to Chiromo. There's a little bit of snarl up. There's a little bit of delay in the traffic, but we're hoping that mtafika mapema kwa wale ambao wanaenda kazi. On Ngong Road, traffic is heavy. There's delay, but not major delay. There's delay, but no major delay. As long as in a move, it is good. Okay. You know, this morning you always have to expect the usual rush hour traffic. Okay, slow moving traffic. You know, on major highways. Let me see how Jogoo Road is looking. And by the way, yesterday there was so much chaos in Jogoo Road because of you know, the Uhuru Market, I think demolitions. There was a lot of chaos right there, but we're going to look into that in our paper review. But so Jogoo Road, I see there's a little bit of heavy traffic. There's a little bit of a heavy traffic, a little bit of snarl up. Yeah, there's not that major delay, but there's a delay. It's slow, but it's moving. That is on Jogoo Road. Kiambu Road, I'm told it's moving. Kunayo, but it's moving slowly. Provided it's moving, just be happy that it's moving, okay? And yeah, that's it. That's Thika Road. Thika Road, I'm told traffic is stretching from Survey. Wow, traffic is stretching from Survey all the way to the CBD, I think. And yeah, that is our traffic updates this morning. So Thika Road, actually, where I am right now, we are experiencing a bit of cold. It's raining, and I'm hoping you're going to be careful on the roads. Now, regardless of how our roads look like, let us be respectful of other road users. Let us maintain road discipline, okay? You know, give people time to get home safely. It is better to get work safe than you know, than get to work without a leg or without a hand. Okay, so let's be mindful of other road users. Be mindful of other V8 users like you. Be mindful of others, other pedestrians as well, and everyone else who's using the roads. Okay, that is our traffic update. And now that we've had our traffic updates, we've had our weather updates, and we've known what day it is today in the history. Now, question is, are you ready for a newspaper review? I just missed a call. You could call us again. Obviously, tell me what you think about na uniambie venye kwenu kunakaa, kama kunanyesha ama kuna mvua. I really would like to know that. 0711 176 006 is my WhatsApp number. That is my my SMS number, and also that is my phone number. So you can text me there and tell me where you're getting me from, and tell me also what you think the weather looks like today. Ama kwenu kunakaa aje? You know, it's good to know these things. Tell me penye kwenu kunakaa. Huku nimekuambia kunanyesha, but today is a good day. I wasn't trained on, but anyway, story for another day. So I want us to take a very short break. When we come back, we are coming back to review our newspapers to see what the dailies have for us today. I also expect that you're going to be part of this, because we always say that you are not of this world, but you're in this world. So for you to operate in this world, you have to know how this world works, okay? And that is why we are doing our paper review this morning, to see the major stories that are in there. I already told you that we had a visitor, a monarch came in our country yesterday. We're going to be looking into his speech. We are also going to look into, you know, the strike from the health, from the Ministry of Health. I think the KMPDU led strikes yesterday. The clinical officers also had a strike yesterday. CS Deborah was also in Senate for, you know, questioning We're also going to look more into that. We are also going to look, by the way, I loved the headline on the Daily Nation today, just that I don't have them here, but we're going to come with them, after the short break. So the Daily Nation headline today revealed that there has been a Mexican, I think a Mexican gang that had a drug lab hapa tu Kenya, and apparently it was uncovered last year in September, and this is a whole new information, but we are so happy that they were uncovered. And actually it was a drug lab for one of the, I think, most dangerous drug there is, meth. I don't know if you guys have heard about crystal meth. Don't worry, we are going to speak more about that in our paper review. Gerald, all the way from Kangemi, thank you so much. We see you and we hear you. He's saying can't wait for the paper review. Okay, do not worry, it's coming to you in just a short while. You just stick around there. Now, I want us to take a very short break. When we come back, we are coming back with more news, with more updates, and also with our paper reviews. Of course, I told you I have panelists with me today, so do not go anywhere. Keep sending in your comments. Keep sending in your highs and hellos. Tell me where you're watching us from, and also keep updating us on the traffic wherever you are. It is good for us to update those who are at home or those who are planning to get out of the house, so that they can be careful wherever they are going. Okay, but until thank you so much, Gerald. So Gerald is saying kwenye yako ya kunanyesha. See, I told you, if the Nairobi CBD is raining, I don't know where else is not raining in Nairobi. Gerald anasema kwa kunanyesha. I think that's in Kangemi. Not worry, as long as unyeshwe and you're safe, we are good to go. So I want us to take a very short break. We are coming back with our paper review, so don't go anywhere.
Keitani and Beverly Mark, together with Mountain of Deliverance Nakuru family, are inviting you for a 2 days of blessings on 22nd March and 23rd March. Guest speaker will be Dr. Pauline Oracle. 22nd, that is on Saturday, we will be having the biggest mega ladies meeting at the Mountain of Deliverance Church Nakuru from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Daughters of Honor meeting hosted by Reverend Dr. Pauline Oracle. And on Sunday, it is a service you cannot miss. First service will begin from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and the second service begins at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Main speaker, our guest will be Dr. Reverend Pauline Oracle, all the way from Nairobi. Don't miss these 2 days of blessings in Nakuru City, Mountain of Deliverance, Nakuru.
Are you a young mother wondering where to leave your baby as you go for your daily work? Are you tired of repeated stresses from house girls not handling your baby well? Now I'm coming to you with solutions. At Nakuru Bright Schools, we have a daycare that offers extremely good care for your baby. We have a daycare that has comfortable beds, good environment, serene atmosphere for your young jewel, for your young angel. Enroll with us and enjoy working at your comfort without stresses of how could your baby be, did she sleep during the day, did she develop a fever or something like that. Join us at Nakuru Brightshine and have stress-free life of working to build the nation and even to care for your child. At Nakuru Brightshine Schools, we are not just an ordinary school. We are the best school in Nakuru town, offering opportunities for learners from playgroup, PP1, PP2, and grade 1. At Nakuru Brightshine School, we have so many activities for your young learner. We even have an extracurricular activity where young learners are even taught sign language. How is that, my viewer? By enrolling your child to the best school where the foundation of their academic journey matters the most. Aside academia, our classrooms are well built. Each class is carpeted, making sure that your child will not be messing around in the dust or on the ground where the floor is very cold. I wish to extend an invitation to you. Our admissions are still in the progress. Feel free to visit our school in Nakuru, free area right opposite Blankets. We work from 8 to 5 p.m. I'm looking forward to meeting you as we engage more to admit our learners to the best school in the city. Nakuru Brightshine Schools, remember, we are destined for excellence.
Call me out upon the waters, the great
Nakuru, are you looking for a way to start your day with purpose and prayer in the presence of God? Mountain of Deliverance Church Nakuru invites you to our morning devotion service every weekday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Experience powerful worship, life-changing teachings with Rev Mark Keitani as we seek God's presence this 2025. Don't miss this divine opportunity to begin your day on a higher spiritual note. Mountain of Deliverance Church Nakuru, your church of choice.
keep my eyes above you.
Deliverance is where people are liberated from the forces of darkness, yokes, chains, affliction that are holding them back in life. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Mountain of Deliverance Church, Nairobi.
By coughing, by yawning, even by tears, come out.
Power, praises, manifestation of the Holy Spirit is felt in the lives of God's people.
Wewe roho ilifunga mama, chomeka, achilia mtoto. 1, 2, 3,
According to the law of physics, everything assumes rest until a force is applied on it. Every Thursday at Mountain of Deliverance Church, Nairobi, this is where that force is applied on every generational curse, every generational poverty, evil family patterns, anti-marriage forces, and joblessness. Are you ready to break the chains that are holding you back? Then I want to welcome you to Mountain of Deliverance Church, Nairobi. We are located in Gara, Murang'a Road, next to Aqua Plaza building. Come get your deliverance. Your deliverance is one service away.
Uchawi wa baba,
Uchawi wa baba,
uchawi wa mjomba,
uchawi wa mjomba,
uchawi wa shemeji,
uchawi wa semeji.
Niachilie!
Fall in love with God is the greatest romance. To seek Him is the greatest adventure. And to find Him, it is the greatest achievement. And that is why I want to invite you to the greatest place where you'll find this love. This is none other place than Mountain of Deliverance Church, Nairobi. This is where you find people that will make you love God more. We are located along Murang'a Road in Gara, next to Aqua Plaza building. And behind me is the roundabout of Parklands. When you are right here, you just come straight on your left-hand side and you find Fig Tree. And then you'll use the Safaricom Green Footbridge. 150 to 200 meters, you'll find our beautiful church, Mountain of Deliverance Church, Nairobi. Our service begins at 8, where we start with face-to-face with God. The man of God, Dr. Francis Oracle, leads powerfully in face-to-face with God. And exactly 9, our praise and worship takes over. We make sure that the presence is comfortable for everyone. We make sure the presence of God is all over in the praises and worship that are led. And exactly at 10 or 11 there, Mom gets in and start prayer, powerful prayer points for you so that your destiny will take shape.
Anointing under which I serve.
Upako ambao unatumika chini yake.
Anointing under which I serve.
Upako ambao unatumika chini
And I
yake.
command every evil foundation
Naamrisha kila misingi
that
mibaya
has troubled your life.
iliyoangaisha maisha
It
yako
shall bow today in Jesus' name.
inakoma leo kwa jina la
I
Yesu.
said every evil foundation
Kila misingi
under
mibaya
the anointing of this
kwa
altar.
upako wa madhabahu
I
haya.
command that foundation to crumble and to bow down.
Naamrisha
And at 11, the man of God takes over to make sure that your spirit man is fed and make sure that your destiny takes a good shape.
Every occasion requires somebody who knows how to say, Father, I thank you.
kila hafla itaji mtu anajua kusema
A
asante.
thankful heart
Moyo wenye shukrani
is a fruitful heart,
ni moyo umejaa na
is a
mazao.
joyful heart.
So I expect to see you this coming Sunday. Remember, this is where you find love, and love is found at Mountain of Deliverance Church, Nairobi. So see you then each Sunday. God bless you.
Je, wajua kuwa unaweza kuinua biashara yako kwa kutangaza hewani kwenye stesheni hii? Runinga ya Oracle inakupa fursa ya kipekee ya kutangaza biashara yako na kuiweka katika viwango vya juu kwa kupewa muda wa kutosha wa kucheza kwenye runinga kwa bei nafuu. Iwe ni biashara ya shule, duka la kuuza nguo, duka la jumla, biashara ya kuuza magari, viatu na zinginezo, unaweza kutangaza nasi sasa kwa bei nafuu. Unangoja nini? Wasiliana nasi sasa kwa nambari 0711176006 ili utangaze biashara yako sasa. Oracle Television Network. The future is here.
Are you seeking solace in the stillness of the night? Searching for guidance or strength beyond the realms of the day? Are you oppressed, depressed, lost or burdened? In the tranquility of the night, we invite you to join a global community seeking solace and guidance. Set aside this sacred hour to immerse yourself in the serenity of prayer, to find strength, healing, and divine intervention.
This is the night, this is the hour, this is our night of victory. Brandoske tayagadaya. You cannot afford to be on your bed. You cannot afford to be in your bed again. This is Dr. Oracle inviting you into our hour of victory.
Experience the power of prayer live with man of God, Dr. Francis Oracle, guiding us through moments of reflection, healing, and transformation. Let your burdens be lifted, your hearts be filled, and your spirit soar. Together, let's embrace the peace that only midnight prayers can bring. Set your spirit aglow,
Tune in every night at midnight and be part of this journey towards spiritual awakening. Join the man of God in this life transformative victory hour. Let's unite in faith, creating unbreakable bonds that transcend time zones and borders. Set your reminders, set your alarms, clear your minds, and prepare your heart for the extraordinary journey of victory. Together, let's embrace the power of prayer. Join us every midnight and let the miracles begin.
Prayers provide a sense of comfort, inner peace, and serve as a means of expressing gratitude, seeking guidance, or a platform to connect with God. That is why Mountain of Deliverance Church, Nakuru, brings you Wednesday Prayer Kesha. Every Wednesday from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Come and immerse yourself in a night of fervent prayer, worship, and spiritual awakening. Led by the man of God, Reverend Mark Kitani. Join as you seek spiritual breakthrough and divine information. This is not just a kesha, it is an informative night of prayer where miracles happen and burdens are lifted. Don't miss out on this sacred gathering, because when prayers become your habit, miracles become your lifestyle.
Woman, are you hurting today? Do you feel powerless to your current situation? Is the weight to expectations holding you down? Listen, there comes a time in every woman's life where she must make a decision. Will you be courageous? Remember, the Bible says that women who fear the Lord, they are clothed with strength and dignity. They can laugh at the days to come. That is why our mother, Dr. Pauline Oracle, is here to encourage, to advise, to mentor, and to educate you in Woman Without Excuse.
The Lord can even call you to take care of the Sunday school. That department, do it with all your vigor, put both your feet in, your intelligence, and also put all that God has given you in that department. You are the person that knows, how do I maintain this man of God for him to be able to maintain and to take care of the flock of God.
Join our mother, Dr. Pauline Oracle, every Saturday at 8 to 9 p.m. in a special program known as Woman Without Excuse here at Oracle Television Network. The future.
Reverend Mark Keitani and Beverly Mark, together with Mountain of Deliverance Nakuru family, are inviting you for a 2 days of blessings on 22nd March and 23rd March. Guest speaker will be Dr. Pauline Oracle. 22nd, that is on Saturday, we will be having the biggest mega ladies meeting at the Mountain of Deliverance Church Nakuru from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Daughters of Honor meeting hosted by Reverend Dr. Pauline Oracle. And on Sunday, it is a service you cannot miss. First service will begin from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and the second service begins at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Main speaker, our guest will be Dr. Reverend Pauline Oracle, all the way from Nairobi. Don't miss these 2 days of blessings in Nakuru City, Mountain of Deliverance, Nakuru.
and if you're just joining us, this is Impact Dialogues with me, Ruth Wanjiru. You've not joined us late, you've just missed a few weather updates, a few traffic updates, and of course our Today in History. You can always go back to check that. But we are in our most favorite session of the show. This is our newspaper review, and as I told you, I have a panel coming to do this with me. You can see I have a lady with me, and also a gent. For the gentleman, you've seen him here before, but I want them to introduce themselves first, to tell us what they do before we get into matters headline. Let me start with the lady. Feli, karibu.
Asante sana. My name is Felista Mwirore from Murang'a County. I am a youth leader, former youth governor Murang'a County, and also a young entrepreneur. And I'm delighted to be here with you today.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we say here the future is here. Yeah, and of course to my other far end, Ngugi, welcome back once again.
Thank you so much.
I think hata nilisahau kuhesabu. Yes, you're so welcome to our paper review this morning. Yeah, say hi to our viewers and also tell us what you do.
Thank you so much. My name is Ngugi Ndego, as always. Executive Director for Ustawi KE, which is a community-based organization in Kiambu, dealing with leadership and governance, and specifically among the youth. So we are a youth run and youth focused organization, and we hope to do better for the country. And more to that, I'm from Kiambu County, currently from Lari constituency, Lari sub-county, Nyandoma ward.
Amazing. You guys are so welcome once again. Now I want us to get directly into the daily. So we have the standard. For you who's watching us back at home, this is the headline today: enemy of the press. We are going to look more into that. We have the Daily Nation, and I think I took a liking to the Daily Nation today. Mexican cartel ran a drug lab in Kenya. And this is actually quite an unfortunate incident, but we are going to look into that as well. And the Star, only 4 million people are paying for SHA. What do you mean? We're going to look into that as well. So I don't know which one catches your eye. Let's start with Feli. Ni gani leo umeona imekufurahisha?
The only 4 million people paying for SHA.
Why do you think this was well written today?
One of the things about it is that 4 million people, are we talking about the salaried members? And then they're saying non-salaried members pay only when sick. Now, when we had the NHIF before, I think it was more structured in a way that even the non-salaried members are able to pay. Again, in the system, I had some of my friends complaining about you can be a salaried member and you're paying for someone you do not know. Again, in the system when you're not checking. So with this discussion that we are having for SHA, I also think it's a good discussion for people to go back to the drawing board and get to see what exactly is the problem that we are having, because sometimes sickness is not something we anticipate.
True.
And when it comes, sometimes it can come when you have finances or not. So with this uncertainty, I think it's a good thing to go back to the drawing board and check what really is going on with this.
Okay, interesting. That is on the Star. Only 4 million people are paying for SHA. We are going to look into that story as well, but first I want to know which headline caught Ngugi's eyes this morning.
Of course, the Mexican cartel.
The Daily Nation,
and this one comes at a very crucial time when we are having rallying calls for the release of one of our own, Margaret Duta in I think is it
in Vietnam. That's true.
And it is interesting and also saddening at the same time because of how indignifying the leadership of this country and most of African countries is towards its people. That we are not really keen, and leaders are not really keen, and the governments are not really keen on ensuring that they protect their people like other countries do. And you will see with how much seriousness the case of Margaret has been taken in that country, which we do not take. We do not see such kind of seriousness here. And I say it is indignity because some time back, I think that should be 2023 or 2024, there were rumors which again were confirmed of an organization from the US that was being given immunity to work in Kenya without censorship, without nothing. Which also tells that our leaders and government, there is a lot of loopholes which allow other organizations from outside the country to take advantage of our people and to use our people for their own reasons, to use Africans as a lab, what do we call them? As lab rats.
Okay.
So I think it is wrong by all means, but it is the picture of what our society is, a black Kenyan community is.
Okay, that is the Daily Nation. We are going to get more into that, but I want us to start with the Star, and I think that story is on page number 4. And so yesterday the CS held, appeared before a Senate committee, and she was there for questioning, and actually tough questions were thrown to her, and some of the things that were discovered was that 18 million people have registered for SHA, but now only 4 million people are paying for SHA. Feli, what does this situation look like? Because we also have to remember that this SHA is being deducted from people who are being salaried, people who have salaries. But now when you tell me that we are 18 million people registered, and remember that this is a system that we are still trying to make it work, it's still not working. So what does this situation look like for us now?
I'd say we are not at a very good place as a country.
Okay.
Because even with the previous NHIF, as I had said, the non-salaried members used to pay monthly. I remember probably for me there was a period I was not employed, but it was an obligation for me to pay it monthly.
Okay.
Now, I think with the way it was put out to the public, that was the reason as to why they are not really paying for that. Because you understand that how I will bring a product to you is how you will buy it. Now, this product came in as a government proxy or something, and that is how people took it. County governments really tried to make people register, and again, that is why we have so many people registering for it, but then again not paying. So I think the same mobilization that was done to make people register for SHA should be the same mobilization that is going to be done to ensure people learn and know how to pay for it as well, and making them accountable in that way. Because if we do not do that, people will still ignore it, because the perception is ni ya serikali. You understand?
Okay, yeah.
So now the mobilization that was done before and the funding, they should go now to the communities and teach them how to do it. It is a new thing you're introducing to the country. Now mobilize and teach them how to do it, just like how it was done before. I think that's my take on it.
Okay, and Ngugi, this is happening when the KMPDU has already taken to the streets. And while speaking yesterday, they first started the SHA headquarters. They also went to the Afia House before going to Parliament. And while giving their speech, they said that come May, they are going to strike if this thing does not work. So some of these things we are getting them in a time where KMPDU, they are striking. Just the other week, UHC workers had already striked. Do you see a breakthrough somewhere?
Currently none. Because again, as she says, one of the major issues includes lack of communication on the part of the government. And that is communication in terms of delivery of information to the people, and even education of the people on what these programs really are about. And when people do not really understand, then it becomes difficult to mobilize them to use these services. And it is the basic reason, them using those services is the basic reason for government investing in such services. And now you will see, as an example, that as what concerns SHA, you will see that there are worries of people saying that is this owned by the government, or is there a private investor's hand in it? Now, when such questions are not answered, then it becomes difficult for those who are needed to use these services to trust the one providing the services. And so because of that, I don't really think there is hope until such issues are corrected. And they can only be corrected by involving the people throughout all processes of the government, from the beginning, at the middle to the end, to ensure that the government moves with the people and not just alone. And so because of such major issues, then it becomes difficult, because you will wonder why, like for instance, 4.3 million users who were previously moved from the NHIF are not active users, or have not activated they are themselves as users or beneficiaries of SHA. And so that also brings a whole other different issue of trust between the people, or from the people to the government. And because of that, many things are bound to fail. And you will also remember that the issue of doctors and medics, or medics not being paid, and even nurses for the very longest time, has been an issue, just like it has been with education, where teachers have always been on constant protest and strikes to ensure that they are paid. So on top of the problems that we had that we could have solved, then the government now seems to be adding another one on top of it. So I think these issues should be dealt with once and for all. And for them to be dealt with, there is need for government to be honest and to be transparent in its processes. And that is what the law clearly says, that all processes of the government must be transparent. And one way of making them transparent, which the government and many governments, even in Kenya, in Kenya's history, have avoided, include public participation.
All right. Yes. And that story is on page number 4 of the Star. I think I saw something of the sort in the Daily Nation. If you could help me look there, Ngugi. I don't know if in the Standard we have something concerning SHA, but just in a nutshell. So yesterday when the CS for Health, Deborah was appeared before the Senate committee, there were a few issues that were raised, and also senators want an overhaul of the Ministry of Health budget. Those are just some of the things that were raised yesterday. I don't know if you found anything there. Yeah, I can see that on the Standard, page number 10. Health workers in strike, threats as SHA wants of fake payment list. Now, this is considering the list that was released of private hospitals that were paid. Remember that there were a few pending bills, and private hospitals had refused to accept SHA. And so the government made a few plans here and there to start paying up the pending bills in private hospitals. And there was a list that was made there, and the government used somewhere close to 11.4 billion to pay those bills. But now there are allegations of the list not being genuine, and these were some of the issues that were brought up yesterday while the medics were striking. And now in my mind, fairly, I'm like, are we going back to where every department now is going to strike? Because just the other week, the UHC workers striked. Yesterday, it was not only the KMPDU, the clinical workers also joined in the same strike. They have issues with payment of interns. And obviously, in the supplementary budget that President William Ruto assented to yesterday, there is a budget that has been allocated for the interns. It might be able to solve some of these problems. But Phil, are we going back to where we are in that strike mood?
In my opinion, I'd say yes and no. But I think we also need to take health seriously. As a nation, we are not really taking health seriously. Because according to our staff here, they are saying they have been protesting for months, but the government refuses to listen. You understand? So if we continue ignoring us, we will go on a full-blown strike. Now, those are the staff. The UHC workers have been working on 3-year contracts. So now they're serving on an illegal extension. So you tend to ask yourself that we are taxpayers. You have never failed to pay tax in any other day, especially as a salaried person. So where is this money going to? What exactly are we sorting out? If we are not seeing development, then can we be able to see at least the salaried members working, they're getting good health, and they're getting all that? Because you cannot be accountable as a nation if some of these crucial matters are getting out of hand. Because health is a very, very serious matter, and I don't like the way maybe we are taking it as a very trivial matter. Because striking for months and giving a government notice for months, and we are just getting to know about it now, and nothing has been done to it. That means there is someone who wakes up in the morning, goes and sits in the office and sees the complaints and does nothing about it. You can understand where we are as a nation if something like this is supposed to happen.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Gugi, with the president ascending to the supplementary budget, and some of the intern doctors being given a certain amount to solve their issues, do you think that this is going to at least reduce the number of strikes that we are having from the Ministry of Health?
That is a drop in the ocean, because a lot goes into solving many of these problems. Because now what we experience, for instance, in cases like what we had last year, when I think that is 2024, when an intern in Thika committed
suicide, yeah.
And what we saw, I think that could be yesterday or maybe the day before, when a doctor unfortunately could not access healthcare because of not affording. Those are just symptoms. Yeah, those are just symptoms of the piling of problems that we have had over time. So more than just setting aside or maybe adding something to what we had in the 2024-2025 budget, there is need for more to be done. And this includes a total overhaul of the healthcare system to understand the problems that are ailing. Just like an attempt was made in the education sector, an attempt should be made in the healthcare center with honesty, so that all these problems are solved once and for all. There are cadres or maybe categories of working citizens that should never go on strike for poor pay or for poor conditions, and that includes the doctors, it includes the teachers, it includes the servicemen in the police forces and even in the defense forces. And it is a pity that we have to do this. And also, just as a way to solve this problem from the very bottom, the teething problems that we are still experiencing 10 years down the line since the promulgation of the Constitution, including teething problems of what devolution, where devolution should come in, where it should not come in. What services are devolved, what services are not devolved, should be solved once and for all. County governments should be given the ability to be able to take care of their people. The government the national government cannot take care of everything. It should learn to allow the counties by allocating monies and releasing them on time, so that these governors, again, the Council of Governors does not again have now to lay claim on we have not been able to solve these particular problems because the government has not released these kind of monies. So I think it should be a cogwheel. The process should be solved by every part of that cogwheel, from the counties to the national government and every department that is involved in this problem.
Okay. Yes. And I think more of that story is in the Standard as well. You can check. I don't know if you've seen any of Shah in the Daily Nation.
I saw something on the sad irony of a K&H doctor dying for not being able to afford.
Yeah, that was a very, very sad story.
Yes.
So his bill was around 300,000, but Shah could only pay 28,000 for him.
Yes.
And you know that's a sad irony because you are in the same. He is a doctor, and that makes you ask, if a doctor is going through this, what about the common mwananchi? And Feli, just because we just before we wind up that story, what is your advice to the Ministry of Health? Kwa sababu uko pale kwa ground.
I don't think the government can be advised. I'd really say we really need to look into this. Honestly, I am trying to imagine of a very old person, a mashinani, who just goes to the hospital and is unable to pay a very simple bill.
Very small fee.
You understand? If a doctor, this story is amplified because it's a doctor. Now imagine if someone has a very big problem that really needs to be sorted out, and I have been paying for that. So why am I not getting money for what I've been paying? In real sense, if it was business, we'd call it return on investment. But in this case, I'm paying tax. So that means I should have access to health. I should not have to be struggling with these things. So some of these things, I think we really need to look into them. Yes. So, let's just have as he said, let's just change everything. Let's get serious people to work in the healthcare system. Someone who will be able to take health seriously and understand that is a very crucial part of this nation.
Okay, that is a matter as a health.
And sorry for interrupting.
Alright,
And you will also remember that there are other issues of medicine, drugs not being available in these hospitals. There are issues of hospitals not having the proper capacity. There are issues of hospitals themselves not following the guidelines and the framework of whatever has been set by the government and even international standards. For example, there is a hospital that I saw on the social media, I think somewhere in Bomet, that still uses what we call these roofing materials that had been asbestos.
Asbestos,
you see? So, which also explains that even as we are talking about drugs and other issues, we have also not followed the stipulated guidelines that are supposed to be in place. So it speaks a lot about ourselves and our system.
Okay. That is matters health. I want you, who is back at home, to tell us what you think about the whole SHA issue. You know, the doctors striking, but there might be hope at the end of the tunnel, because I think in yesterday's, while President William Ruto was assenting to the supplementary budget yesterday, there was an amount that was allocated to the Ministry of Health, but still, senators want a whole overhaul. And something that stood out yesterday while CS Baraza was being questioned was, you know, in how the budgets are being appropriated, you know, how the funds are being moved around in the Ministry of Health. That is something that the senators really want an overhaul of. But you can check that on the Standard and the Daily Nation. You want to read about that, Doctor? Daily Nation is for you. You want to read about the strike, the Standard. You want to read about the, you know, 4 million people paying for SHA only. Get your stuff for that story. I want to look at the Daily Nation and see what we have in there. But we are also waiting for your messages and comments. 0711 176 006. Tell me what you think about this. Do you think there's light at the end of the tunnel after President William Ruto, you know, assenting to the supplementary budget, which was approved in Parliament last week? Do you think it's a light at the end of the tunnel for the Ministry of Health? I'm waiting to hear your part of the story on that. Now, yesterday we had a visitor, guys. The Dutch king came yesterday, and you know one thing I noticed about our president, he kuja kukaribisha again, don't joke. Don't joke, he knows how to do it right. He knows how to do it right. But you know, this comes even after, you know, Kenyans are going online and saying that he shouldn't come because of this and this and this. But he still came. And I don't know if you followed that, Feli, and what was your takeaway from his speech?
I did. I followed it. And I think I'd love to say that they listen. They listen to what Kenyans are saying. Because as part of his speech here, he said, the people of Kenya, like those of the Netherlands, want their rights as free citizens to be respected and their voices be heard. You realize that was part of his speech. So in real sense, he was trying to show that the messages that you people are sending, I really got them. I say as a country, we are at a good place in welcoming visitors and all that. But the Gen Zs have decided if you're coming, you have to address us. You have to know what is
we are the
our
people
country.
of the nation.
Exactly. But I think the respect for rights and democracy, he really challenged the president, and I hope the president will listen to that. Because a visitor coming into your country and challenging you on the rights of democracy, hey, you can really imagine where we are at this point.
Okay, and Gugi, were there any takeaways from his speech yesterday?
As Felista says, him mentioning that there is need for freedom of speech to be upheld is important, though that has always been said. And it is also important to note that the Netherlands has been a very good partner in terms of ensuring good leadership and governance, particularly in Kenya. Because of the work that they have done through funding, through whatever other efforts that they have made, even in the civil society organizations. And these are efforts that are out in the open. But there is also need for the international community, the Dutch king included, to do more than just saying. There is need for sanctions, so that our leaders become more, they are serious about the things that they are talking about. There is need for these leaders to be sanctioned and to be told that if you cannot take care of your countries, then you cannot relate properly with the rest of the world. And that is the only way, I think. It is only proper that those who believe in upholding what is right for the people, they must show that by action, by not involving or engaging criminals, and by not engaging people who uphold the murdering of young people and the killing of citizens and the denial of the rights of the people. So I think that is it, and it has been the standard. You will remember that some time back the US had I think that should be 5 or so years ago, had given a report, or even 10 years ago, had given a report on drug barons. That should be more than 10 years ago, I think. And there are a number of Kenyan leaders that had been mentioned and who are sanctioned and who are denied the right to travel. So I think that should be the procedure to ensure that we see these things happening.
Okay. And so that was yesterday. For those who didn't know, yesterday, the Dutch king came and visited us. There were some MOUs that were signed, some of which are expected to benefit our tourism industry, others trade, and also investments. And we do hope that this is going to be a plus for our nation. And of course the Dutch king said that actually I love that he highlighted the importance of human rights. I love that he highlighted that the importance of human rights and freedom of speech as well. And this is the Daily Nation. They took an excerpt out, and this is what they say. I'm pleased that our country's strong and mature relationship allow us to devote attention during this visit to issues like human rights and good governance and accountability. Those were just some of the things that he noted yesterday. And actually the Star gave us a picture of the gift he was given. Charming jumbo for gift for a fit king. I don't know if you can see that well, but you can get the Star to get that picture. It was a very nice picture of an elephant there, and the baby elephant.
And Shiro, some of these visits are mostly used just for cover-up. Because you will realize that even in the previous visit by the English, this UK king, the recent one, when he came, I think that was in the previous regime.
Okay.
And there were still questions of what happened to the issues of compensation of veterans, war veterans in Kenya. What happened to the compensation of their families? Were they supposed to be compensated? And it is a case that has been running for years and years and years, to a point that some of them, a delegation of them led by Mzee Gato Kahengeri, had traveled abroad to go and ask for compensation.
True.
But that has not happened. And when he came, I think that did not take center stage while it should have. You will see that they went to see the gravesite of the war veterans who died in war. By that I mean the officers, from the English officers who died in war in Kenya. I think it is only unfair that these visits are used just to pull a carpet over these issues and to ensure that they are not spoken of again.
Okay. You can get that also. I think in the Standard they mentioned something about it as well. The Star has the gift. The Daily Nation has some of those MOUs and what they are going to benefit the country. And now to the Daily Nation. Mexican cartel ran a drug lab in Kenya. And I'm actually so sad that this is one of the most dangerous drugs, crystal meth.
Yes.
So there was actually, this is a report by the United States Department of State has revealed that meth
that is a crystal meth production lab linked to a dangerous Mexican cartel, had been in operation in Namanga, that is until September last year, serving a major indictment of the country's fight against narcotics, that is even as international criminals organizations continue to operate in plain sight. Now, my question is, okay, we have no, because according to the story, they have no idea for how long the cartels ran the lab. But my question is, with us fighting drugs so much fairly, where does this put us? Where does such a story put us?
Especially as he said, coming at a point where Kenyans are trying to fight for the release of Mugata. As I was coming, I have read a post somewhere of a record of Kenyans who have been caught in other countries getting drugs or getting drugs into those countries. And the same way Vietnam takes these drug cases seriously is not the same way we take Kenyan cases seriously. And we will just talk, we will say it's PR, because we just said these people need to be taken seriously and all that, and nothing is ever done. These people will go scot-free. Someone who, sorry to say, will steal a chicken in Mashinani can even be jailed for a longer time than this person who has connections and is a drug cartel in Kenya. So that poses as a very bad threat to us, because if we have that lab in this country, how do you expect that there will not be people who are going to be taking these drugs out of the country? And you realize the things that are actually going to be in question at this moment is, how do you pass your Kenyan airport with the same drugs not discovered and get into another airport with the drugs discovered? So you can imagine the level of, I don't know to call it corruption or what exactly we have as a nation, because it seems that it is emanating from our own country, because we are not taking that case seriously. So we want another country to take our Kenyans seriously, but in our country, the cases of drug cartels and all that, we are really not taking it seriously.
Okay, and you know, I'm looking at the story. It's on page number 2 of the Daily Nation. Let me just read a part of it. And so they say, although it was unclear whether the drugs were supplied locally and for how long the lab has been in operation, the U.S. cautioned that domestic drug production in Kenya is on the rise. Okay, and I think this comes a few weeks, I think, after a story came out of how Airbnbs are being used as a, you know, I'm looking for a name. They are being used as drug hubs. And I'm here, Ngugi, asking, so when it comes to drug abuse and, you know, substance abuse, what are some of the policies that we should put up to prevent things like this?
First of all, as I have always held, we need a very professional and sociological approach towards dealing with most of these issues, and particularly drugs. You will find that one of our problems is that we have avoided to take the sociological approach, which includes thinking logically and rationally to understand why are people taking these drugs. For instance, you will see the issue of alcohol, a very simple issue, which has been a major problem for years and years. In fact, since independence. And you will find that one of the problems that we have is that the same people who are supposed to fight this use of second generation alcohol are the same people manufacturing it. So behind the doors, they will push for the continuation of that. But the lip service will ensure that we understand. We think that is being solved. But also, as part of a sociological approach, we need now to ask ourselves hard questions and ask ourselves, for instance, if in the case of alcohol, the issue is second generation alcohol, and what we will call before illicit alcohol, is it possible that we promote the use of proper alcohol whose standards are checked, and ensure that people take clean alcohol and not the dirty one? And that will include probably ensuring that people can access alcohol that is clean in the comfort of what their salaries can afford, and not having what is clean being expensive so that now we give chance for those who are manufacturing illicit and second generation alcohol a chance to manufacture poison. So I think that is basically a sociological approach that can be understood. The same question with the issue of bang, which is controversial again, which we cannot even talk about here because of the controversy around it. And we need to understand that some of these things can be solved if we were rational enough, if the government were to become rational enough. That we can be hard and go hard and go all out in terms of implementation of laws and setting up policies that control hard drugs like cocaine and others, and ensure that people who will want to use other stimulants and other drugs that are not as destructive have the opportunity to do that, but while being protected from poison. So I think it is a whole other story.
And Philip, you know, we've seen in the counties some of these people being caught, and it starts with something as little as bang. You see people have 24 kilograms, 40 kilograms of bang. They are destroyed, but that's where the story stops. I'm looking here at the Daily Nation where the story is, and I can see that last month the Mombasa Senior Resident Magistrate, that is David Odhiambo, presided over the destruction of narcotics worth over 300 million shillings at the Bamburi cement incinerator. And now I'm like, okay, so we've seen some of these people come, some of these people go. Is it that we are taking the matter lightly, or what is happening?
First of all, yes, as the government, they're taking the matter lightly. But then again, I think in terms of this whole issue of sorting drugs, Kenyans, me included, we also have a problem. Because as he's talking about the narcotics and everything, I think so many people have come out to the communities to try and reach the communities. So the ignorance is feeling from down there to up. So each and every person here has a role to play. Because you cannot come and tell me you came and destroyed narcotics worth such an amount and the person just went scot-free. This means that this person is capable of going and doing the same thing, maybe now in a kind of like a hidden way. You understand? So I'm thinking it's from down there. It has to start from me and you. As it rises up, as the government also takes up its position, to try and stabilize the economy and the issue of drugs, it also starts from me. Why am I going into a bar that I know has counterfeit? You get? I am going there, I'm taking counterfeit. I know that, I have an idea of that, but I will still go and do that. You understand? So it has to start from the smallest to the largest. Each one of us has a role to play in curbing this whole thing. Yes.
Each one of us has a role to play. And I think when it comes to alcohol, I think former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua really did his best to fight against alcohol. But why was he not successful?
Because again, the same people who probably say that they want to fight alcohol are not sincere. While he was doing his best, there are other people within the same tables that he was sitting at that were undermining him.
That owns bars that do the
yes,
same
that
kind
own,
of thing.
yes. So they will say with one side of the mouth that we agree with what the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is doing, but on the other hand, they will be working, and at the same time they are talking messages kwa simu zinatumwa fanya hivi na hivi. So I think and again the issue of not being serious with ourselves, we also do not take our own measures seriously. For instance, I will give you a very unrelated issue which will also guide us in understanding this, the issue of land, which we have always talked about. And we are so deep into this problem and not wanting to solve it that we do not even take our own report seriously. There have been reports that have been done by the one which was called Ndongo report. There are many other reports that have been done in this, including TJRC, which were never implemented. And yet it is ourselves who made them. So we make things that we do not want to follow through. Yes.
So it starts from the bottom.
Yes. But I'm very sure, just like corruption, if one was caught na shikwa apelekwe kama Margaret vile inafanyiwa sasa huko. Now we do that. I'm very sure
take precautions.
people will take precautions.
We'll be serious
Yes.
now. And that
Again,
story is yeah, kindly go ahead, Feli.
Again, I tend to think we should also check, because as we are talking about the story of Margaret Nduta, you understand that she was taken out of the country by an agency. So we also need to look very much into these agencies. Is it that you're sending our girls, our mothers, are you sending them to Saudi Arabia to work, or are you putting things into their bags so that they go as sending something for you? Because you understand, probably you cannot be able to fool me, because I will check my bag, I will do all that. But you cannot tell me someone who is from down there, who really wants to just change the lives of their family, who wants to boost her financial class and all that. This person does not know Nairobi very well. This person was only called by an agent maybe who will meet her at the airport to just escort her to go. So you will give me a bag, this bag is with my clothes, you'll want to see my clothes, you know, I will allow you as my agent to do that. And in the midst of it all, you put something. I don't know how things go at the airport, I'm just new. So I will just go. And the implications that will come later is I was only going to fend for my family. And this is what has found me. So with the rise of these agencies at most, I think it's also right that the commission that is in charge of checking these things, make sure that we are not taking our girls and our mothers out there to go and rot in prisons elsewhere. You know, there is always home here. But we are not going to take our girls outside for them to go and suffer, as they are going to look for greener pastures and all that.
That's true, and we are still following up on the story of Nduta, and the Daily Nation today mentioned her. There was a woman who is in Hong Kong. She wrote a note, and she's in prison, and she said that she spent some time in a Ghanaian prison with Margaret Nduta, and she continues to say that the story is true, but she incriminates a Nigerian, I think, agency, saying that the Nigerians, had a friend of hers killed in Kenya, the friend of now the one who is in Hong Kong, and saying that they should help Nduta out because it is true she did not know what she was transporting. And I'm still waiting to see what will happen, but at least for now we can arrest, because her execution was stayed, and we are still waiting to see what happens to that story. That is on the Daily Nation. And I did see something interesting here. So the governors have been defined on the 10 billion roads kitty. They've been asking for more money for roads, but wanaambiwa hakuna pesa, lakini sawa wamekataa nayo this time around. And the conditional grants amount to over 40 billion, and includes 3.4 billion to pay community health promoters. This is for the county. Now 1.75 billion to clear striking health, and 116 million in fines, that is in court fines. Then we have 10.5 billion for county aggregation and industrial park. And actually the senators joined the governors, saying that they need money for this. And I don't know, unajua tunaambiwa hakuna pesa lakini tunaitisha pesa mingi zaidi. What do you think is happening here, Feli? Unajua tunaambiwa hakuna pesa lakini here we have governors and senators still asking for more money.
Misplaced priorities.
Misplaced priorities.
I'd call it that. Misplaced priorities.
Okay.
In each and every day there is tax that gets into the country. So the president and the budget committee needs to know what amount is getting into this country each and every day, be able to allocate it to the things that are needed. But if we are, I can't remember which county it was that spent a lot of money on tea. Drinking tea in the morning. Yes. Talking about a bill.
Yes.
Now make me understand how that will help me as a Kenyan citizen.
This takes us back to a while back. I think it was last week we had a very structured, or rather a very detailed expense of how much counties used in travel expenses.
You're traveling to talk about your county. So if it's Kiambu County, we will travel to Mombasa, sit down for a whole week, talk about our county. Well, there are so many restaurants in Kiambu. And there are offices in Kiambu. I think the essence of offices sometimes it is to do something like that. We sit down and we discuss and we allocate. But if we are going to waste money sitting down and allocating, I don't see how it makes sense.
Okay.
So we are misplacing priorities and then we come say there is no money. Well, there's someone who wakes up every morning 5 a.m., goes to work, allows everything and pays tax on time. You will never find that person that has not paid tax. At the same time, I am struggling because the road from here to my place is bad. So I cannot get to work on time because of something like that.
Okay, and you know, to get just a glimpse of the story. So you know, the roads maintenance levy fund is not in control of the governors, and so they want control of that whole kitty. Something that they've taken to court. It's actually a case that is in court. Senators have also sided with the governors, and that they are saying that they will target the CDF funds should MPs continue to frustrate counties over the roads kitty. And Ngugi, I'm asking myself, does it matter who has control over these funds as long as roads are made?
It shouldn't matter. But the only thing that should matter is how the regulation of the use of those funds, so that we do not have people who are using the funds meant for roads to do other things, to buy tea, maybe to take their girlfriends abroad,
to buy tea,
to do whatever other things,
okay,
to buy chapati machines. You see. So I think there is also the issue of the major issue, as she puts it, is the issue of priority, and also the major issue now from the bottom is that lack of, or maybe ignorance on the part of the citizenry has costed us this far, because we also do not understand, or our people do not understand the mandate of our leaders, why we elect them, and on their part the leaders want to pretend that they do not understand the mandate
where they were elected.
So yes, so you will find that MCAs are claiming that they should have monies to build roads, and you will find that senators also want something from that. So probably that is why they could be supporting or not supporting. So I think we also need to solve the issue of ignorance in terms of civic education, and we also need to solve the issue of mandate, so that the bodies that are supposed to regulate and to audit are doing their work. If that is done, then it should not matter who is building what.
Okay, you can get that on page number 14 of the Daily Nation. Let us look at the start to see the standard, to see some of the things they have put in here. I think we've tackled most of them. The president visits. Yeah, this was the story I was looking for. So President William Ruto assented 113 billion supplementary budget. Right now it's a law. It was a bit, right now it was a law. So it was assented to yesterday after being approved in Parliament last week. I wanted to look at some of the departments that have been allocated, and I think education took the largest amount. And now let me see the education sector. Yeah, it was allocated an additional 18 billion that will go towards the TSC. Will be able to cater for shortfalls, teacher promotion, because they had also threatened to strike. We can see 8 billion shillings was given to TVETs, and also 4.2 billion shillings was given to that is universities, and most of it actually I think went to education. The health sector also got something from that. In total it is 113 billion shillings. You can get at the standard to see how they've put it down there. And also it is also let's say a breather for help students, because help was dispersed yesterday. Students have started enjoying, over 65,000 university students, and also over 31,000 TVET students yesterday received their disbursements of help funds after a decry. And where I am fairly as we wind up, with the supplementary budget, because remember that the supplementary budget is brought about if the first one is not enough. You want a letter here and the next one. So do you think it's going to solve some of the issues that we are having?
Accountability will.
Okay.
The money will always come in, but it will always go to other things, because I don't know how accountability works in this nation, apart from I see people are grilled after money has been spent. You understand? So if we change that to making sure that even before the money has been spent, I'll just give a quick example. As a normal Kenyan or as a normal person, when you do not have money in your mind, you keep saying, when I get money, I will do this and this and this and this. But when the money comes, you forget all about that and go do something else. And then now when the money is over, you say, I was supposed to do this and this and
But
this.
money went.
But money is already gone. So I think it's also like in the same case. Can we also try to be accountable? If this is the money allocated for schools, if this is the money allocated for TVETs, can it go to what it was supposed to be done first? Let us not sort out something that came as an emergency this morning. Because there is money to sort out that emergency, we have sorted it and forgotten that there was a problem last week. You understand? So I think accountability will really, really, really solve this matter. The more money comes in, emergencies will always be there. There will always be problems in a certain school, in a certain thing. But let's first sort out what was needed or what was in the list first, so that at least we can be able to see development in a way.
What are your thoughts on this, Ngugi?
As she says, accountability. And again, education, as I had said, we need to also educate ourselves. Now, other than the government and what these public officers should do, there is also what we must do as the citizens. And one of them includes noting where we see problems through maybe community-led accountability and youth-led accountability, just as we did with the Gen Zs, what the Gen Zs did on the 25th of June last year. So I think that can be done. And if we become active citizens in the proper way in terms of ensuring there is accountability, and not only in the use of funds, and also including the use of powers that these people, and the mandate that these people have been given, then it becomes easier. But now we must vet what these leaders have done for the 3 years that they have been in office, and what they had promised. And was it viable, what they had promised, and on what they had promised, what has been achieved, what is likely to be achieved, what was a waste of public funds. And just as I had said, it is also important that there are checks and balances, and that also there is also honesty in terms of how these officers use what the public has given them through the taxes. For instance, in this time and era, and I don't know whether I'm the only one who has a problem with it, we should not have a president who is talking about machines for chapatis. I mean, that should have been, it is a good one, because it is good for kids to have big defined meals. But there is also the reason that we are past that. That should have been done in the 1980s. We had milk, maziwa ya moi. But now we should have proper sustainable strategies that are putting development forward. These are things that can be done by MPs. These are things that even MCAs and governors can through MCAs through legislation in the assemblies, and governors can do with the CBC, and MPs can do in the schools, like the Honorable Ndini Nyoro is doing with his schools. But as for the government, there should be a little more seriousness in terms of putting in place sustainable development. So I think that is just it.
Yeah, interesting. And that is what our dailies are saying this morning. I am still waiting for your views to see what you think about it. Of course, we have the Mexican drug cartel, that is in the Daily Nation, you know, the visit of the president and everything we've discussed. My producer tells me I'm running out of time, and so I want us to put a comma there. We are going to continue this on Friday again, but before we leave, I would like to give each one of them a minute for their parting shot, starting with the lady. What is your parting shot, Feli?
I'd love to say that we are heading, as a nation, where we are heading at, the same way you keep saying the future is here, I'd say that the youth should not stop talking they should not stop making their leaders get accountable.
Uh-huh.
The same saying that says closed mouths don't get fed. So if you have a problem and you're not talking it out, no one will know that there's a problem. So let's continue being advocating for these things, and let's continue being part and parcel of what our country is doing.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Ngugi, what's your parting shot?
My parting shot is that we should be on the lookout as the citizenry. And now more than ever, we should be keen to see how things work. Because now we should see our leaders for what they are and understand that when the time comes, there is need to elect proper leaders, not based on the parties that are sponsoring them, and even not based on how they look, whether they have dimples or they are handsome or not, whether they are beautiful or not, but on what policies they want to implement or to put in place when they get in office. So I think there is need for us to continue educating ourselves, for the youth now that they are seeing the light, to continue educating their parents back in the villages, so that when we go to vote, we vote as one.
Okay, and thank you so much for making it for Impact Dialogues this morning. We do not take that for granted. Yeah, you beat the rains today to come here. Ngugi came here while dripping with water, and Feli got rained on a little bit as well. But thank you so much. We do expect to see you again on Impact Dialogues. And to you who is back at home, thank you for joining me this morning from 8 a.m. all the way to now. I do appreciate you. I do love you for that. Until we see each other on Friday, keep safe, stay blessed, and stay happy.